Good evening, everybody. It's Shalane. How are you doing tonight, this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever time that you happen to stumble across this video? So, I am going to be making a story time. Well, I'm going to be telling you guys a story of something that happened to me today. Okay? And I'm a little hot about it. Apparently I stay mad, and I do stay mad. But anyway, so clearly I ain't got no makeup on. My voice is a little raspy. I ain't, I'm telling y'all, this literally just happened a few hours ago, and I just got done with my homework, and I'm waiting on my phone to charge so I can go to the gym because I want to listen to my music, but I can't if my phone is on 22%. So I figured I'd make this story and tell you guys what happened. If you're on my Facebook, then you know I'm mad about something. So here we go. Today is my off day, and I needed to run a few errands. So about 30 minutes before the credit union that I go to closes, I decided that I needed to go cash a check that I had from my employer. Okay, so my credit union has this cool new thing. Apparently we're late to the game because apparently some of them other banks and credit unions already got this, but it's called Passport or something like that, where it's kind of like an ATM that you drive up to, but there's like a touch screen, and when you touch it you can see the person that you're talking to, and then you just do the transaction like that way. So I do that. I've never had a problem with the Passport thing. Anytime I go cash a check, they're cool. Like, there's no problem at all. The first thing they ask me is my name, last four of my social, and they also ask me my password on my account. So of course I provide all of that information to them. And like I said, I never have a problem. But today, honey, it was a problem. So I pull up, I tap the little screen, the girl pops up. I'm not going to say her real name, but her name, I'm just going to make it up, was Amanda. Okay. So I was like, hey, Amanda, how are you doing today? She was like, I'm good, Shalane, how are you? And I was like, I'm good. She was like, well, how can I help you? And I said, yes, I have this check that I would like to deposit into my checking account. And she was like, okay. So she was like, just go ahead and place your check in here whenever the door lifts up. So I do that, and normally it takes them 2 seconds. They look at the check, they're like, okay, cool. You said you wanted your check in, right? And I'm like, yeah. They go ahead and process it. Anything else I can do? No, here's your receipt. Have a good day. I'm in and out. So this time, Amanda was like, bear with me just a moment while I process your check. I was like, here we go. But I didn't want to be pessimistic, so I was like, okay, no problem. So as she was doing that, I was on my phone, I was checking Facebook. She finally comes back and she's like, Miss Dixon, she's like, unfortunately, we are going to have to put a hold on your transaction because of the nature of the large amount of this check. Now, mind you, this girl can see my facial expressions. That's the facial expression I made. I was like, why? Well, it's just because it's a large check. Okay, I've cashed bigger checks than this before with no problem from the same company, my workplace. I'm a little bit confused, Amanda. And she was like, yeah, well, yeah, it'll be available to you on Friday. And I was like, no. My rent is due tomorrow. Like, no, girl, I'm taking this money so I can go pay my rent. So I didn't tell her all that because what I do with my money is none of her business. So I look at her and I say, okay, so is this new? Is there a new limit or something? Like, what's the cutoff limit? Like, what's the threshold limit for you guys to not have to put a hold on my check? And she starts to stumble and she's like, well, there's not a threshold limit. It's just because this check is large. And I'm like, I understand, you know, you told me that, but I've cashed larger checks than this before. I don't understand why it's an issue today. So she was like, well, tell me about this check. What do you mean tell you about this check? So at this point I'm getting a little bit angry and I'm trying not to be hateful to this woman, but I'm like, girl, if you don't give me my money so I can go. And I was like, okay, yeah, that check is from my job. If you look on there, it says my job where I work. And she was like, have you cashed these types of checks before? I was like, I just told you I have multiple times. So she was like, one moment. So she's looking and she was like, oh, okay, I see. I'm sorry. I see that you've cashed these types of checks before. I was like, okay. Oh, okay. So I was like, okay. You know, I'm sitting here just trying to be like, okay, cool. Just give me my money. Just give me my money before I go off. So Amanda finally processes my check and puts it in my account, and I drive off. And at first I was gonna let it go. I was gonna let it go, honey. But as I started driving, I started getting mad and I started tearing up. That's how mad I was. Now, at first I was thinking I'm overreacting. Like, cause I know I can be a little sensational sometimes. I can be a little extra sometimes. So, you know, I was thinking I'm overreacting. Maybe it's me. Maybe, you know, maybe it's me, you know, whatever. I don't want to think it's because I'm a black girl depositing a large check. To me, that check wasn't that large, but fine, whatever. So don't hold on, God, because I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for it. But I started getting mad. So I pulled over and I called the 1-800 number because they was about to close. Y'all just about see me tear my wig off. Anyway, I called the 1-800 number because I knew they was about to close. Because like I told you, I went 30 minutes before the whole bank closes. And like their 1-800 number closes at the same time as the bank. So I called and we're going to call this girl Kathy. Kathy answers. And I was like, hey, Kathy, how are you doing today? She's like, I'm okay. How are you, Shalane? I was like, I'm good. So she was like, well, how can I help you? And I said, I hope I'm in the right department, but I just feel some type of way about a transaction that just happened when I was at my local branch. And she was like, well, tell me what happened. So I said, first of all, Kathy, I just want to let you know that I work in the service industry too. So none of this is negative energy towards you. You didn't do anything. I just want this rectified. And she was like, okay, well, what's going on? So I told her the exact same story as I just told you. And she was like, oh, okay, you know, I understand. I'm sorry that this happened. And I just straight told her, I was like, you know, I would hate to think that Amanda was discriminating against me. Did I call that girl Amanda? Was that her name? I don't remember. Amanda, yeah. And she was like, oh no, she wouldn't be discriminating against you. And I was like, okay. She was like, well, let me call her. I'll call her directly and I'll see exactly what happened. I said, okay. So she puts me on hold. She comes back and she's like, okay, Shalane, thank you for your patience. What happened is she didn't know what type of check that was, and she wanted to put a hold on it to make sure that it wasn't going to bounce. Now, mind you, yes, this was an offline check from my company. All the rest of them are direct deposited. Well, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they are. It just depends. It depends on how I elect to receive my money. So I just was like, okay. And I made it clear to Kathy. I made it clear to Kathy. I said, Kathy, but my checks that are direct deposited from the same company, it's a very well-known company, y'all snatch some of it before I even get to touch it, because they have done my car loan and I have it on auto pay. So as soon, literally as soon as that money hits my account, my car note is paid. I don't even have to think about it. So I was like, so what do you mean she's never seen this type of check before? And she was just like, well, you know, we just wanted to make sure that this check wasn't going to bounce because it was a large check. Once again, that's not even the largest check. I have cash with this from the same company, from the same check place. I was just really frustrated. I was just really frustrated because, honey, like I told you, I had to pay my rent. My rent is due on the 15th and the grace period is on the 20th. So, anyway, comment down below and tell me what you guys think about this story. Do you think it was discrimination, or do you think I'm overreacting? Actually, don't tell me if you think I'm overreacting. No, I'm just kidding. It's up to you. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, just tell me, what do you think about this story? Of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can keep those concerns to yourself. But ask me any questions or comments down below. And I hope that you have a wonderful, 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 wonderful night. Bye, guys.